This is News 3 at 6.
Right now at 6, a number of schools and businesses have called off events for tonight and already tomorrow.
Tonight's snowstorm is expected to bring anywhere from 5 to 10 inches. We have live team coverage as the snow falls.
Well, we start with meteorologist Dana Fulton with the latest on what's happening with the weather. Dana?
It is snowing right now for us, and it is going to continue wherever you're at. Expect on continuing to see snowfall overnight and into Wednesday morning. Here's a live look at downtown. Visibility reduced quite a bit, down to just about 1.5 miles for us in Madison because of the snow that is falling. Again, looking at our Doppler track over the last several hours, it's just slowly crept on in, and now it is here to stay. The good news for us, that freezing line between rain and snow is really staying to the south. That's going to help make cleanup just a little easier. We don't have to factor in the freezing rain or any sort of ice. However, that does mean our snowfall totals really expected to jump up for us throughout the overnight hours and again into Wednesday morning. So right now we are seeing some pretty significant snowfall for us in Madison. Not blizzard-like conditions by any means, but it is the heavier white flakes for us that are going to continue to fall overnight. Because of the snowfall and, of course, the impact for your overnight commute and your early morning commute, we do have winter storm warnings throughout southern Wisconsin. The western side of the state is going to watch those warnings expire at about 9 o'clock in the morning, but for south central and southeastern Wisconsin, the warnings go until noon tomorrow. We are expecting these snow showers to really stick around for a few hours early in the morning. Because of this, we have added an alert day to the forecast. Expect occasional snowfall on and off tonight. Anywhere from 3 to 5 inches expected for us, and snow totals by the end of this storm will be closer to about 5 to 10 inches, with some isolated areas seeing more than 10 inches of snowfall. So this is an event that could really double what we already have on the ground, our current little blanket of snowfall. It's about 23 right now in Madison. Wind chills, thankfully, not too much of a factor. Blowing snow, not a huge factor for us this evening around Madison, but the wind chills will be a big factor by the end of the week. We'll take a closer look at those snow totals and also the wind chills we will have for Friday and Saturday in just a few minutes.
All right, Dana, thank you. And as many of our viewers already know, the roads are getting slick out there. Amanda Quintana live out on the Beltline to show us how the snow is impacting drivers. Amanda?
Yeah, well, things have definitely slowed down here on the Beltline in just the last 30 to 45 minutes. It's gotten to the point where the snowflakes are getting bigger, so, you know, it's hard to see what lane you're in. Really, we're going about 35, 40 miles an hour now on the Beltline because a lot more cars have gotten on the road and everybody is really taking it slow, which is good, but definitely going slow. Like I said, those snowflakes, it was drizzle at about 4:30-ish. It started to turn to those thicker snowflakes. So now we're seeing a lot of that padded on the roadways. So it's getting slippery. It's getting more slippery than it was before, and things are starting to slow down. We've already seen a few cars kind of go onto the side of the road. So be careful, of course, and if you get to the side of the road, you know, call 911 and make sure to stay in your car.
All right, Amanda Quintana and photojournalist Jim Rader there on the Beltline Live. Amanda, thank you.
All buildings in the Madison Metropolitan School District are now closed. The district is canceling all evening events ahead of tonight's snowfall. The district plans to inform parents if school is canceled tomorrow by 6 in the morning. You can check out other cancellations on our website, channel3000.com, or the list scrolling at the bottom of your screen. People all over southern Wisconsin are bracing for this heavy snow. Amy Reed spoke to people in Dodgeville and shows us how they are getting ready.
Kids didn't have to come to school today, not just because of what's on the ground, but what's on the way. But when the fun starts for some, the work starts for others. Plows are filling up and fueling up, knowing the next 2 days are going to be long.
We've been out since about 6 o'clock. It started as a little bit of freezing rain and drizzle early this morning, and with a lot of the commuter traffic in the county, we just wanted to make sure we had a good jump on it, so we were out early this morning. Yep.
All this is pretty routine to Iowa County Highway Commissioner Craig Hardy.
I guess I don't get excited about it.
Even if this winter hasn't given them much practice.
After a while, we get tired of it, but you know, we haven't had a lot of snow this year, so that's a little known. This will be maybe the 4th event or 5th event as far as snow goes.
He knows his people know their routes out in the county, and the city and township will pick up the rest in their spots. Their work now, before the storm, is pretty crucial. As the freezing rain turns to snow, the roads get slick. And if you're not careful, you could end up here.
Oh yeah, hopefully, if everything goes right, but yet, all depends how people drive though.
He's getting in his practice rounds now, fixing up cars to peak performance for tomorrow. And the cold is only getting to him a little bit.
You betcha. It's heated in here, so it keeps it just enough to get cars dripping on you, of course.
Of course, him and the people behind the plows have some advice that, if nothing else, makes their jobs just a little easier.
If you don't have to travel, please stay home, and if you do, then just be careful, you know. Just take your time and you'll get to where you're going.
Today was really just a warm-up. The real work starts tomorrow after we get some more snow, and those plow drivers will have to be back on the road at 3 in the morning. Reporting in Dodgeville, Amy Reed, WISC News 3.
As of right now, Dodgeville schools have not announced they are going to be closed tomorrow, but the list of closures and cancellations keep growing. So be sure to keep up to date with the list scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Counties across the region are trying to limit the amount of salt used this winter. The goal is to keep area lakes healthier. Crews in places like Dane County are using brine. That's a 23% salt and water solution. They're also using sand instead of rock salt whenever possible. In Madison, the city still uses about 300 pounds of rock salt per mile, but tries to cut back if able.
If we can dial that back to 100 or 200 pounds per lane mile, we'll change the spreaders. We'll let our crews know that they can dial it back. We're trying to just be more effective managers of that material.
The city says while sand might not entirely clear the roads of snow, it's still safe to drive on because of the added traction. And Madison Water Utility asked people to clear any snow that builds up around fire hydrants in your neighborhood. There are more than 9,000 of them within the Madison city limits. Crews say having them cleared can make an absolute difference during emergencies.
Dealing with the snow can be frustrating, especially when it comes to caring for our cars. Jamie Perez shares some hacks to survive winter driving.
Well, so far this winter, we have been pretty spoiled, to say the least. We haven't had too cold of temperatures, and we haven't had too much snow on the ground. But you can see from just looking outside that that is not the case anymore. So my job today is to show you some winter hacks, and we're going to do that right from our parking lot. Now, one of the first things that we all deal with in the morning is our cars. And first things first, we gotta get all this ice off the windshield. Most of us usually can get an ice scraper out of our cars. Well, if you do not have one of these ice picks, you can always use a credit card. Literally just take it to your windshield. Works like a charm. The next order of business is dealing with your side view mirrors. You have a plastic bag just lying around. You can wrap the plastic bag around the mirror, and just like that, it's now protected from the ice. Next, I want to talk to you about your tires. If you are ever stuck in a situation where your tires are in a spinning rotation, you can't get out of the snow, all you have to do is grab the mat from inside of the car, place this mat down, reverse your car, and voila, you're unstuck. All right, and the last thing that I want to show you is how to take care of your windshield wipers and keep them from getting frozen. Now, many of us know the trick of keeping your windshield wipers up to keep them from getting frozen to your windshield, but if you use something like a sock or a glove and you stick it right to the end of that, it's kind of a cute way to keep that frost from accumulating at the end there. Of course, those are just some tips, but we wanted the experts to weigh in as well.
We do recommend that people have an emergency kit in their vehicle that will help them out in situations like that. Having a small shovel that you can dig out your wheels. We recommend having some kitty litter, particularly non-clumping kitty litter, that can help increase your traction.
Of course, those are all good tips to remember. I hope you took some notes on all of those things so you can stay as safe as you can in driving in these conditions. Reporting from our parking lot, I'm Jamie Perez for WISC News 3.
A full how-to list that Jamie talked about can be found on our website, channel3000.com. And as we follow the storm overnight, be sure to download our Channel 3000 First Alert weather and traffic app. Stay safe and informed with News 3.
Well, things are going as planned at the state capitol tonight, despite the weather.
We are live from the Capitol with a preview of Governor Tony Evers' first State of the State address. That's next at 6.
We'll learn more tonight about Governor Tony Evers' plan for the year in his first State of the State address.
Evers will give that speech in just less than an hour. Chief political reporter Jessica Arp joins us live at the Capitol with what we're expecting to hear tonight. Jess?
Well, yeah, we know tonight that Evers will call for bipartisanship, and he will call for lawmakers to take up the budget that he is crafting right now and not create one of their own. He will also reaffirm some priorities he's highlighted in recent weeks, including 2/3 funding for public schools and rebuilding infrastructure in the state. In recent days, Evers has not directly said whether he will outline new priorities in this address, but lawmakers seem open to hearing about issues on which they can find agreement.
You know that education, transportation, Medicaid expansion are going to be big things, but corrections reform, clean water, we need to make the priorities the issues that are impacting people most in our state, and I have confidence Governor Evers is going to do that.
We're attempting to try to find the middle ground to say let's argue as we need to, but let's not pick fights in the first few months of the administration. So my hope is he would echo that and he would not use all kinds of partisan rhetoric that draws applause, but we'll see.
Lawmakers were on the floor for much of the afternoon debating and ultimately passing a bill to cover pre-existing conditions. As for that issue of crafting their own budget, Republican lawmakers have threatened to do so if Evers includes things in his budget like a Medicaid expansion or any sort of tax increase. Now, governors typically also invite members of the public to be in the gallery to help them highlight initiatives or things that they want to emphasize in their speech. Among those in the gallery tonight, we do know will be UW band director Michael LeCrone, who announced that he would be retiring this year. Evers in his speech will say LeCrone, quote, embodies the spirit of our state. We've also seen some band members wandering around the halls of the Capitol here. So my guess is we may hear some on Wisconsin this evening. We will have full coverage of this speech coming up tonight on News 3 at 10, and we will be live streaming this speech as well on channel3000.com and our Channel 3000 Facebook page.
Jess, thank you.
And as she mentioned, a measure that would guarantee insurance coverage for people with pre-existing conditions is now headed for the state Senate. Cleared the Assembly about an hour ago. Republicans amended it to meet some, but not all, of Governor Evers' demands, including eliminating yearly and lifetime caps. Governor Evers tweeted the bill offers fewer benefits than the federal Affordable Care Act and condemned Republicans for playing politics. The chamber passed the bill 76-19. 16 Democrats voted for the bill, but they have complained it does not go far enough. It's unclear whether the Senate will vote on the measure or if Governor Evers would sign it.
We are learning more about a homicide outside a Sauk County casino. Police are still searching for 68-year-old Robert Pulvermacher and want you to call 911 if you see him. He is accused of killing 88-year-old Harold Johnson. Johnson was found dead in his car last week outside the Ho-Chunk Casino and Convention Center. Autopsy results show Johnson was stabbed 5 times, including twice in the neck. Now, according to police documents, Johnson's daughter told officers her father loaned Pulvermacher $100. Video surveillance showed the two inside the casino heading out to Johnson's car on January 13th, but Pulvermacher returned to the casino alone. A security officer found Johnson's body the next day. Pulvermacher was last seen in Madison, and police say he paid cash for a 3-night stay at the Roadway Inn. Once again, if you see him, please call 911.
Police are encouraging people to stay home tonight if it's at all possible.
We have another update on the storm system heading our way. That is next in your first alert forecast.
Well, we heard from authorities asking people to stay home if you can. Dana Fulton joining us now with the very latest what the weather's going to do this evening. Dana?
We are expecting quite an eventful evening for us. A lot of snow moving through. It's already started, and it's really not going anywhere. We have several winter storm warnings that are in effect again throughout southern Wisconsin. To the west, those warnings are expected to expire at 9 o'clock in the morning. As the snow gradually tapers from west to east, we'll watch those warnings slowly be canceled or expired for central southern Wisconsin and eastern southern Wisconsin. Our warnings go until noon. To the north and south, winter weather advisories in effect. They're expecting slightly less snowfall than what we will see. Our Doppler track right now, here's the picture, and it's not really going to change much for us over the next 12 hours or so. Some moments of heavier snowfall mixed in with lighter snow. It's expected to continue overnight and into early Wednesday morning as this area of low pressure continues to track east for us. It's actually staying pretty far south. But we're still going to continue to see all that moisture come up in our direction and see the snowfall extend through much of Wisconsin. Rainfall to the south for us, and we would like for it again to stay south. That freezing line later this evening does get very close to the state line, and that can really make roads very messy outside and really hinder the cleanup effort as well. It's much easier to scoop the snow and clear it out than to have to deal with the ice mixed in for us. So rain to the south, this mixing line gets close to the state line around midnight. And then heading into Wednesday morning, we still have snowfall through for your morning commute. The skies will gradually clear late in the day on Wednesday. As far as if we will actually see any sunshine later in the day on Wednesday, well, we'll see how quickly things clear up in the morning. So a little closer look here. Again, snowfall expected throughout southern Wisconsin. The further south you are, the longer you're going to be seeing the snow. Of course, it's already coming down for us in Madison. Early Wednesday morning, we're going to watch the snow slowly start to taper with transitioning from a light snowfall to flurries. Again, that goes from west to east for us. And as we get into closer to noon, that's when we'll watch our warnings expire and the snow completely pull away. The clouds will slowly pull away as well. We'll have a steadily clearing sky overnight and a very cold start to Thursday. And a very cold start to Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Once we get through this snow event, we are in for a very bitterly cold into the week and weekend. As far as our snow totals go, the swath through southern Wisconsin expecting anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snowfall, with isolated areas certainly getting even more. And you can see that probability of snow continues for us overnight and then slowly starts to scale on down towards the middle of tomorrow. The main threat is still the snow. Thankfully, we don't have much of a breeze right now. It's actually fairly calm outside with our breeze. It could be much worse. So blowing snow, not a huge threat for us. After we get through the snow, we talk about cold weather, and we do have alert days in the forecast for your Friday and Saturday, as temperatures are going to drop well below zero overnight, with our wind chills down to -30 for Saturday morning, -35 possible for us for Friday. So here's a quick look at our future wind chills for us for Friday morning. A very cold start to the day. Plan ahead to shovel tomorrow morning and to bundle up every morning through the rest of the week. Overnight lows are going to drop into the teens for us just barely. Tomorrow will be in the low 20s for afternoon highs, and then it is going to get cold for us. Looking ahead through the next 7 days, temperatures drop below zero for us to start off Friday and stay there. We're looking at a very cold stretch through the weekend into the start of next week. Next potential round of snow for us will be moving in late Sunday and to start off next Monday.
Miller Park will be Miller Park for 2 more years, then a big change is on the way. The story's coming up in sports. Miller Park will still be Miller Park for 2 more years, but then it'll be called something else. American Family Insurance will get the naming rights for the Brewers Stadium for 15 years, starting with the 2021 season. AmFam Chair and Chief Executive Officer Jack Salzwedel helped make the announcement today at Miller Park. The Madison-based insurance company has its brand all over Wisconsin sports, with the Badgers and now to a much larger degree the Brewers. They'll announce the new name for the stadium at a later date.
I think it was thought that that Miller would stay here, and we kind of thought that as well. And through the course of this fall and working together, we thought that there might be an opportunity for American Family, and there did become an opportunity. We have a long history with the Brewers that goes back to American Family Night at County Stadium, some signage in the park, and this really caps a great long relationship with the Brewers.
There are 4 new members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. The votes of the baseball writers were announced this afternoon. If there was ever going to be a unanimous choice, it was going to be Yankees reliever Mariano Rivera. 652 saves, a lifetime earned run average of 2.21. In the postseason, he had an ERA of 0.70. He's the first ever to be a unanimous selection. Not Ruth, not Aaron, but Mariano Rivera, a unanimous pick. Rivera gets 100% of the vote. Others getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame: pitcher Roy Halladay, designated hitter Edgar Martinez, and another former Yankee pitcher Mike Mussina. Curt Schilling was the closest to getting in after that with 60% of the vote. Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds both named on 59% of the ballots. When you win a big game, it's always interesting to see what happens next. That's the challenge facing the Badger men's basketball team in its next game at Illinois tomorrow night at 8. Wisconsin knocked off then undefeated and second-ranked Michigan Saturday at the Kohl Center. Now they face an Illinois team they've beaten 13 straight times and 6 in a row in Champaign. Illinois has only 1 Big Ten win all season. Seems like your classic trap game for the Badgers, but they're not focused on Illinois. They're focused on their own effort.
Our competition's in the mirror. That's the biggest competition we have, and again, we have a lot of things that we need to improve on and continue to work at. So that's what we're focused on. Illinois, they kind of had an up and down season, but it's a very young team, and last week they played very well against Minnesota. So you never really know what you're going to get. So we got to be locked in and ready to go and play a full 40 minutes again. And like I said, that's something we need to work on, is playing a full 40 minutes. We did it against Michigan, and now we got to make that a habit.
The next Prep Mania game of the week is Thursday night. Boys basketball in the Big 8. Madison East looks to rebound from its first loss of the season. The Pergolders play at Madison Memorial. You can see the game live on channel3000.com Thursday night, 7:15. What's the longest goal you've ever seen in a hockey game? The Nashville Predators' Ryan Ellis might have the longest. The NHL rink is 200 feet. That one goes about 197 feet. With Colorado pulling its goalie in the final minutes, Ellis got the puck behind his own goal line and fired it all the way down to the net for a goal, one of the longest goals in hockey history. Can't even see that far, much less shoot it that far.
That's a little bit
6
impressive.
6 feet wide. The goal is 6 feet wide.
Wow.
Boom.
That was a bomb.
About that.
Final check of the forecast, Dana.
It is snowing outside right now, and it's going to continue to snow. So we do have an alert day in the forecast for tonight, and there are winter storm warnings in effect throughout southern Wisconsin. Anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snowfall expected as we head into Wednesday morning. The snow will slowly wrap up for us on Wednesday, and then notice it gets very, very cold to end the week and for next weekend.
Well, more updates tonight at 10.
Have a great evening, and we will see you back here at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.